to head into my favorite segment of Reason. Hypocrite of the week! Woo! A Boston area youth minister was fired Friday from Boston English High School for following his arrest this week for an alleged execution-style shooting of a 17-year-old student after an argument over a drug deal. The Reverend Shaun O allegedly, what? Okay, there we go. Allegedly, oh my goodness, employed the student to sell drugs. Wow. And has been charged with attempted murder. If you guys want, let's discuss this thing. Or let's get a couple more details. So, obviously it was attempted murder, so he survived. I see here the bullet grazed the victim's head, and the incident was recorded by a nearby surveillance camera. Police said the student told them Harrison was his mentor, and that he'd been selling drugs for Harrison for several months prior to the shooting. Oh my goodness. What an all new low for a reverend or a minister. Setting up some kind of drug dealing business and employing minors to do it.
Do you think he used the phrase, "All right now, don't you make baby Jesus cry," and short him?
Oh man. Wow. And so they also mentioned here, can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. So they also mentioned here, this is just, I guess, extra information. But one of Harrison's neighbors said she regularly saw young people going in and out of his apartment after midnight, and that she often smelled marijuana coming from his apartment. Police also arrested 3 men in their 20s at his apartment and found drugs and illegal firearms there. Harrison and 2 of the other suspects had distinct matching Latin Kings tattoos on their necks. What do you guys make of that? So he was a gang member too.
Okay, so now listen. Jesus didn't say anything about you can't carry a gat, alright? It does not say in the New Testament, thou shalt not carry gats.
Well, Jesus came to bring a sword, so I think this is just a modern interpretation of the sword that Jesus came to bring, right? I mean, you got to keep up with the times. You know, the Second Amendment was written when we only had muskets, but now we need AK-47s and AR-15s, so Jesus only had a sword available, now we have to have a gat. I mean, that's just, it's what Jesus would want.
Yeah, you know, I think that'd be a little weird to see, like, the 3 Musketeers standing on the corner selling some marijuana and being like, "Don't mess with me, fool. I got knives."
Hey, Jesus told me to sell the drugs.
So were they selling marijuana? Because I think that if God created marijuana on, what would that be, the 4th day, the 3rd, I don't know, whenever he created plants, marijuana is good with God, I believe. So if that's what they were selling, I think that's legit, right? I don't think
Prototype, you just laid out his entire defense case.
And I should be a lawyer.
Yeah, the Bible lawyer. You can justify anything with it. Now, right here, God says that he created plants. Marijuana is a plant. I do believe that I can ingest this.
Well, there was a guy in Texas, there was some politician in Texas who was arguing to decriminalize it or legalize it, because basically using that argument, I think, right?
Yeah, that just came out like last week. He was a Republican, I think either senator or representative, and he was all like, you know, God created all the plants, you know, and he looked at it and everything was good. And therefore, we should be using marijuana for fibrous purposes, for manufacturing. And if people want to smoke it because they need it for medicinal purposes, then that should be okay. That was his position.
Now, of course, being a Republican, he didn't want to tax it or regulate it, though. So he wanted to make it legal, but he didn't want any of the government involved. He didn't want the state making any money, you know. We wouldn't want to have that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, because Colorado, they're just doing horribly right now as far as funds go. I heard they have a Kickstarter going just to support their state.
Hey, I don't want to get too far off topic here, but speaking of Colorado, they had a really good IUD program where they offered women 1 free IUD, you know, just through, they had like some kind of government grant or something, and now there are it's been so successful, the birth rate has gone down dramatically. Teen pregnancies and the abortion rate have dropped significantly. And so now I think the money's running out, and so they're debating whether they should continue funding it with tax money. And they're literally now starting to debate whether IUDs are birth control or abortion, which is completely ridiculous because IUDs do not prevent they prevent pregnancy, and abortion is the termination of a pregnancy. So anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. We can get back on topic. I just wanted to mention that.
Well, no, okay, hold on. I want to state something on that. Now, if they are going to say that IUDs are abortive in any sense, then you know what? Condoms are abortive. I mean, they prevent the sperm from connecting with the egg. So why in the world would you want to do that? I mean, shouldn't every time you have chance just be a dice roll as far as you getting a little junior out of it?
And also, most condoms contain spermicide.
Oh no! Is that like nuclear?
Annihilating those poor sperm, millions every time.
All of those dead.
But anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to this guy. So, from what I've ascertained from this article, he obviously was a gang member at one point because he had the Latin's King tattoo on his neck. So did some of the other people that are around him. Which goes back to the previous discussions that we've had. Are we just allowing anyone to become a pastor now? I mean, really, he's drug dealing? Like, he's got, obviously, if he had 3 or 4 young people working for him, he's got a business going. Okay,
Yeah,
people know him. They know who he is.
It takes
He's a member of the community.
I mean, you pretty much just need to be able to be charismatic, to talk to people, things of that nature, to be able to go up there on Sunday and do your spiel, I guess. I mean, the thing, if I read that article right, real quickly, it said that it was an execution-style shooting, and yet the bullet grazed his head, and so it didn't kill him. Like, how bad does your aim have to be to try to kill somebody execution-style, and you graze them with the bullet? I'm sorry, I know I'm making light of this and everything, but man, this guy, if anybody had a guy on their side here, it was the victim.
Just look at my hand. This is all you need to know. So, you know, proper position, Latin King's position, homie. You're hey, bop, bop, bop.
What do you think were like the last things that he said to this guy as he was like in execution position or what? I was like, "You best say hi to Jesus," or something. I think I would play with it. But anyways,
I know exactly what he said.
What?
I know exactly what he said. So his name was Shaun O. Harrison. He said, "You render unto Shaun O. Harrison what is Shaun O. Harrison's, and since you shorted me on that deal." Because you know the whole render unto Caesar what is Caesar's spiel from the Bible.
That would be awesome to see in like a movie, just like a pastor that's a drug dealer, and he's like, you render unto me what is mine. Now you not, so now you gonna die. I would like to give a little bit of an anecdotal thing here. My son is 5 years old, and he likes Nerf guns. He plays with them and whatnot. Well, the other day, he was standing in the living room, and I was sitting here on my computer. He was across the room, and he shot me square in the cheek from across the room using a Nerf gun. So, effectively, this pastor was as bad, he was a worse shot than a 5-year-old child.
Yeah, I gotta say his aim must be pretty bad if it was execution style, like Brendan mentions, and he somehow only grazed the guy. But for being a minister and supposed to be a moral representative of your community, while instead you're dealing drugs. Now, I think that marijuana should be legalized, and I personally, if he wants to deal marijuana, that I don't care about that. But the fact that he's employing minors to engage in criminal behavior is very hypocritical of him. And not only that, he attempted to kill this 17-year-old. Wow, we just have to stamp you with Hypocrite of the Week. How low have we sunken as a society when we allow a prior gang member, marijuana dealing scumbag, to be the minister of all things, a youth minister of our church? It's a very disappointing day here at Reason.